The White Bear Area Chamber of Commerce and SCC TV are proud to present Your Business Matters, dedicated to your business needs. The White Bear Area Chamber is a nonprofit business organization serving as advocates to the White Bear area and its business community. Now, here's the Executive Director of the White Bear Area Chamber and the host of Your Business Matters, Tom Snell.
Welcome to Your Business Matters, brought to you by the White Bear Area Chamber of Commerce. Each month, we interview community leaders and business owners so you can be informed about the developments in our community. I'm pleased to welcome Michael Hreha, Employment Specialist at MINNCOR. MINNCOR is an organization that works with the Minnesota Department of Corrections to find jobs for individuals who have been recently incarcerated. With the shortage of finding employees for certain jobs, MINNCOR can assist businesses in finding that hidden talent pool. Thank you, Michael, for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Could you give me a little bit of background about the history of MINNCOR, when it was established, and what kind of the purpose of MINNCOR is?
Industry has been around in the state prison system for well over 100 years, starting off with foundries and a twine factory and even the license plates. And then in 1994, we became centralized, and in 2003, we became financially self-sufficient. So we don't take any kind of subsidies or grants or anything. We're completely financially independent.
Okay, and when you mentioned that you became self-sufficient, how do you bring in revenue then?
Well, we manufacture a wide variety of products. We partner with local companies and with state agencies, schools, nonprofits, and we manufacture and sell those goods, and that's how we fund our programs and we fund MINNCOR Industries.
Great. Now, is MINNCOR a state agency? Is it the Department of Corrections, or is it separate?
We are a program within the Minnesota Department of Corrections.
Okay.
So we are all corrections employees, state employees, and we are a part of the Department of Corrections.
Okay, you are. So do you only work with prisoners, because that's what MINNCOR does, or with people that have been recently incarcerated just once when they're released?
No, we actually have a pretty unique training program. In 2006, we developed an employment readiness program called Employ, and that was a way for MINNCOR to give back to its workers. MINNCOR has always been about helping people find and establish a skill set so that they have something to use and fall back on out in the community. That's kind of what drives that's our whole mission, is to give people those skills. So we start with those on the inside. They come and they work for MINNCOR Industries while they're incarcerated, and then we work with them. The employee program works with them for up to a year after release. So we work with them through the whole transitions process, which is a benefit of being a corrections employee. We have access to their records and to the people throughout their whole tenure.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now, I know that MINNCOR recently had a program at the Shakopee Women's Prison. Can you give me a little bit about detail about that? Is this something that you do on a regular basis, or was this just a unique opportunity?
Well, this was our first crack at it, and we are planning to do more in the future here. We're planning the next one. And basically, it came about when I was out talking with employers that, obviously there's a need for skilled labor with businesses. And so I started talking to them, well, would you, not only would you consider hiring somebody that has a background, but would you ever be interested in coming inside of a prison to participate in a job fair? And the answer was overwhelmingly yes. So we decided to run a pilot program out at Shakopee, and we had 75 women that were within the next 90 days of their release participated.
Okay. All right.
We helped them build resumes. We helped them with mock interviewing, how to bring up their conviction with the employer. We had about 11 employers come in, and it was a really successful thing. We reached out to all kinds of different industries, mostly that focused on what we did inside either MINNCOR or the career technical programs inside of the institution. We partnered with DEED, facility staff, the DOC, and we brought in about 11 employers, and we had women that were interviewing on the spot. We had 4 women get conditional jobs
right away.
Yes, right then and there, and we've had about a dozen or more in the following weeks that reached out and offered jobs to these ladies. So it was
Really?
a pretty successful first shot.
So you're thinking about doing this again then, I would assume?
Absolutely. Yep. And it was free for the employers to come in. We, kind of told them what to expect, and that the women, where they were going to be releasing to. And so, yeah, it was.
And we will let our members know about future opportunities like that. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
So you've kind of answered the next question about how are businesses able to participate in this kind of offering?
Well, being a state agency, it's free, number one. A lot of businesses don't know about us. They don't know that we exist. They don't know what our mission is about, helping people get skilled labor and promoting that on the outside.
Sure.
And so basically, we just need to get the word out there a little bit more that there's this huge untapped market of people that are skilled, willing, able, and ready to get to work. And we can be contacted at any time, and I'd be happy to sit down and meet with a company to figure out, what skill set they're looking for, hours, transportation to and from, and help them filter out some potential candidates.
I know a little bit earlier in the interview you mentioned about how some of the job training issues, even if they were minor, started as long as 100 years ago. But the next question that I have deals somewhat with that. Do organizations like yours that assist people that are being released from prison, do you do counseling, and what are some of the ways that you help these people prepare for employment outside the prison walls?
Sure, that's a great question. The DOC in general, the staff are very adept and conscientious about helping people. Minnesota is a very progressive state when it comes to corrections, and we believe more in the philosophy of rehabilitating somebody instead of warehousing somebody. So everybody from line level staff, corrections officers, all the way up to the wardens get involved with programs that help the offenders transition out. The transition centers at each of the state facilities has training classes with people before they get released. Our MINNCOR shops actually operate like any other shop would on the outside. We try to emulate that so that when they do leave, they feel that they're getting a good quality training. So they have to apply for a job, they have to interview for the job, they have to do all the training, meet quality standards, quotas, the whole 9 yards, just like they would out in the community, so that when they release, they're prepared for what's coming next.
Excellent. So and that all starts within the confines of the prison or the jail.
Correct. And then for the employee program participants, we also do 2 days of additional training before they get released, how to create kind of a plan of where do you want to go, how to look for a job, and then how to keep that job. Because a lot of times people may have work, but it might have been a few years back, or some may have never had a job. And so we have to kind of work on some of the little soft skills and cognitive items to get them prepared for work. But we spend 2 full days working with them on that also.
Well, you really do an excellent job, it sounds like, in preparing people to go out and find gainful employment. I want to ask you a couple questions about stereotypes or some of the challenges that you've faced in meeting with various employers. Do you find that there's a residue or a stereotype of hiring people that have been incarcerated? And what are some of the things that you tell a potential employer if that comes up as a question, or if you think that that might be an issue that an employer might be thinking of?
Sure. It's not so much stereotypes as like misconceptions, like, are they safe? Are they going to steal? Are they going to be reliable and be on time? But for as many times as I've had employers ask me that question, I've had employers comment like, hey, I've hired somebody in the past and they've turned out excellent.
Oh, okay.
I firmly believe that when you give people an opportunity to learn a new skill, they're going to take advantage of that. Like, nobody wants to wake up every morning and just think, well, I'm going to fail today, right? So luckily within the Minnesota State prison systems, there's a number of different resources, both in programming and staff, to help them out and break through some of those barriers. And really in the long run, once people get on the outside, they have that motivation, they have that drive to succeed. They have families, they have friends, they have, you know, their own inner dreams, and they want to be successful on the outside. And so we try to help them out as much as humanly possible with that. But at the end of the day, it's all on their motivation, and we're here to support them, but each individual is a little bit different.
Yeah. We have several employers within our area that have used your agency to find employees, and they've been very happy with the work that you've done. I want to ask you, though, a question about, do most of the people that you deal with that have been incarcerated, do most of them just go into entry-level positions?
No, it really depends on each individual person. Last year we had self-reporting, people making anywhere from $14 an hour to $31 an hour.
Oh, okay.
A lot of that comes down to if they had the skills before they went in, or if they gained skills while they were inside. That can change. Just within this past summer, I've had 2 or 3 people that came out and they were able to retest for union apprentice jobs, and they're making $30+ an hour. We kind of focus on the ABCs of job searching. First, you want a job, and then you want a better job, and then you want the career, right? So you don't necessarily have to, your first job out doesn't have to be your last job out. It's stepping stones. We help people stay realistic within their career goals.
And when we talk about training, you know, and I mentioned just entry-level jobs, what are some of the training programs that some of these people that have been recently incarcerated, what have they gone through? And give me just a snapshot of the type of training that these people receive.
Sure. Well, right off the bat, they'll get their GEDs or their high school diploma equivalency. And then the Department of Corrections has a career technical program, so they can learn trades, anything from carpentry to cabinet making to industrial painting, computer certifications, welding, you name it. So that's one area. And then our factory shops at MINNCOR, like Moose Lake, for example, they recognize that there's a big need in the print and sewing industry for further training beyond just the hands-on skills. So they develop their own curriculum for training materials, so that they're teaching people how to tend the machines, maintain them, troubleshoot them if they break, everything. So they're getting very unique, individualized training. So it all helps. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of opportunities within the state system to get training. And that's not to mention all of the different, like rehab, treatment programs.
Sure. Can you give me some examples of employees you've helped that have become, good workers or have moved on to career opportunities in the business community?
Sure. We've had a lot. We've had, I'd had to think about this a little bit just to kind of narrow it down, but a couple more recent ones that I'm particularly proud of. We had a gentleman that, younger guy, came out, military background, and had some struggles and came to our program, and he's successfully working in the construction field, doing well. We have another lady in our program that is actually a foreman on a road construction site. Foreman. So that's a really good win. And then another gentleman that keeps in touch with us has a solid job in the sewing industry, but then he also volunteers his time with a local nonprofit. So to me, those are big wins and big successes. But eventually, people move on. They'll get better positions, and it's nice when they'll call us back and say, "Hey, just so you know, here's where I'm working." Or I'll talk to an employer and say, "Hey, does so and so still work there?" And I had somebody years ago when I first started that I was particularly a little bit concerned about, because he was had predatory offender, and 5 years later he's a supervisor at the same company. So that's fantastic that they can move up like that.
That they've been able to go and do that. So the next question I have deals with people returning to prison. As you know, there's a major problem with a significant number of people that get out of prison and they return. So I want you to go through some ideas or some of the reasons why this type of program might help keep people out of prison. And do you have any experience that you can mention how your program has helped keep people from going back in?
Sure. Back in 2011, we did a program study on recidivism and how effective our program was, and
Sure.
we found that in the 4 different categories, we reduced it anywhere from 32 to 63%, which is pretty significant. One of the main catalysts to staying out of prison is to have stable employment.
Okay.
People that are coming out are 3 times less likely to go back if they have
3 times less
3 times
likely.
less likely if they have stable employment, which is why it's so important that they come out and they have a good livable wage job so that they can support
Sure.
themselves. It's the whole theory of idle hands, right? So got to keep busy, keep moving ahead, and you get that inner pride when you have a good solid job, and yeah, you made a mistake, but now here's what I'm doing to fix it and support my family and myself.
So this is a very, very important piece in making sure that people don't go back into prison, which I imagine not only helps the individual that's been incarcerated, but also helps the taxpayers.
Taxpayers, community safety, it all trickles down. So
Wonderful, wonderful. How might a business work with you? I mean, what connection might they make if
Sure.
somebody comes to you, and how would you get them through the process?
Sure, it's pretty simple. I mean, I get phone calls all the time. Mostly it's referrals, or I'll reach out to companies that I know are actively looking for people. But it's just a matter of making a phone call and setting up a time to meet. Again, we're a state agency, so there's no fees or anything like that. We're not a staffing agency either. We don't place people at jobs, but we help connect the dots between the employers and the potential candidates.
Okay. So they have, and so you can work with a business that might be saying, I'm looking for somebody that can be a welder, or that can work on construction. Can you find the right person for me?
Correct. Yep. And then we go through our list of people that are in our program, reach out to them, see if they, are working, if they're happy, if they're looking, and or people that will be coming out shortly, and getting a hold of them before they get out to kind of get the ball rolling.
So how can somebody get a hold of you if they want to find out about more about what MINNCOR does and how it might help their business?
Sure. MINNCOR.com is our website, and all of our contact information is on there. MINNCOR/employ is our employment readiness program, and that's where our contact information is listed.
And if they want to connect with you directly?
Yep. Phone number is you want my phone number?
If that's okay with
Sure.
you. Sure.
Phone number is 651-361-7508.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us today on Your Business Matters.
Thank you very much.
Now I have a quick announcement about an important chamber community happening. Mark down Tuesday, October 1st, to attend the Chamber's annual Business Achievement Awards. The event will take place at Keller Golf Course, located at 2166 Maplewood Drive. This event will run from 12 to 1:30 p.m. For more information, visit the Chamber's website, www.whitebearchamber.com.
You've been watching Your Business Matters. For more information on this program or the White Bear Area Chamber, visit whitebearchamber.com or call 651-429-8593.